most of the time in our paper 1 exams you can see a 5 set of questions. So those 5 set of questions is from data interpretation. So data interpretation is somewhat very simple, but sometimes it is complicated. But one point is very sure and clear, because there is no question paper in CBSE net paper 1 without a data interpretation set. Set means 5 questions. That means data interpretation is a bonus or a profit for us. So before starting with the data interpretation, we have to solve very small simple questions, and then we will move to the higher level questions. So let's start with a small session of this one. So what you have to do basically, you have to take a pen and a paper right now before you watching this video, because we have to do some calculations. So be ready to do some maths. Okay, so take a pen and a paper and let's start. So if you cross check all the data interpretation questions, there is definitely a question associated with sum of some numbers, addition. Then comes difference of some numbers or subtraction. So sum and difference is very common questions in the data interpretation set. And the third one is questions associated with ratios. Ratios, that means in the format A by B. Okay. And the fourth one is percentage. Percentage and ratio are closely associated because ratio into 100 is percentage. Okay. Percent. Percentage is ratio into 100. That means what? A by B into 100 is percentage. Okay. And the next one is average. So most of the time in data interpretation, you can see some questions, difference finding questions, ratio finding questions, percentage and average finding questions. So first of all, we have to be very clear about what are these questions. Then only we can start with the data interpretation. So let's start. I will give you one small example. As you can see, there are some boxes and some oval shape figures are there in this slide. So you can see red boxes. So how many red boxes are there? 4 red boxes are there, and 4 blue boxes, and yellow boxes. Yellow round shape is 4. So totally 4 plus 4 plus 4. 12 boxes are there. Out of 12 boxes, 4 are red color, 4 are blue color, and 4 are yellow. So the first question I am going to ask you, what is the sum of yellow circles? And we all clear that there is sum of yellow circles in what? There are yellow circles is 20 is here, okay, 30 is here, and 50 is here, and 70. And what is the question? The question is very simple, to find the sum of this yellow circles. So what you have to do? You have to add 20 plus 30 plus 50 plus 70. Okay. So find your answers, take the pen and paper, you have to solve your own answers. Okay. And I move to the next question, that is the second one. So first what we discussed was, we discussed sum questions. And second one is very straight, find the sum of square boxes. So find the sum of square boxes. What is sum of square boxes? Square boxes means they not even mention the color. So they are asking you the sum of square boxes, that means the sum of squares in 2 colors, because we have 2 colors, right? So red color boxes are there, square box are there, and also blue color square box are there. And how you can find your answers? You have to add all the square boxes of red in color and also blue in color. So you have to add 10 plus 30 plus 20 plus 40 plus 60 plus 30 plus 50 plus 20. Okay. So you have to add all those numbers and find the answer for this question. So in this question, they mention only squares, no specific color they mention. That's why you have to sum all the squares, and we are not taking the oval shape into consideration. So I think you are very clear about the sum or the addition type questions. Now there is a question about ratios. And ratio, we know that there is a format A by B. So tell me, what is the ratio of sum of blue squares to the total of red squares? So what is the question? We have to find the sum of blue squares. So what is sum of blue squares? Sum of blue squares is 60 plus 30 plus 50 plus 20. Okay, so what is 60 plus 30? 90. 90 plus 50, 140 plus 20 is 160, and 160 is at the numerator. Okay, so we got 160 as numerator, and we have to find the denominator as the sum of red squares. So what is the sum of red squares? 10 plus 30 plus 40 plus 20. So what is 10 plus 30? 10 plus 30 is 40. 40 plus 40 is 80 plus 20 is 100. Okay, so what is the answer is 160 divided by 100, and we are cancelling 0 and 0, and we again cancel 10 and 16 with 5. Sorry, 2. How many times in 10? 5 times is there, and in numerator 16, 2 is 8 times. So ratio is what? 8 by 5 is your answer. Okay, so the first question we discussed is sum, second question is sum, third one is ratio, that means A by B format. Okay, and one more question I am going to discuss, that is the next one. What percentage of sum of yellow circles is the sum of blue circles or blue boxes? So for calculating this question, we have to take the sum of yellow circles first. So what is the sum of yellow circles? Sum of yellow circle is 20 plus 30 plus 50 plus 70. So what is 20 plus 30? 50. 50 plus 50 is 100. 100 plus 70 is 170. So what is the sum of yellow circles? It is 170, and you have to add the next one is, you have to add sum of blue circles. So we got 170 as numerator divided by sum of blue circles. So blue circle is blue boxes. So 60 plus 30, 90, 90 plus 50. What is 90 plus 50? 60 plus 30 is 90. 90 plus 50 is 140 plus 20. It is 160. So the answer is what? It is 170 divided by 160 into 100. Why into 100? Because they ask you to find the percentage of the sum of yellow circles. So we know the sum of the yellow circle is 170 and sum of the blue boxes is 160. So we have to calculate 170 divided by 160 into 100. 0, 0 we are cancelling, and we are again cancel 16 with 2. How many times? 8 times, and 5. How many times? 5 times. Okay. So it becomes 170 into 5 divided by 8. Okay, so you have to calculate the percentage and rest of the calculations on your paper and pen. Okay, so we discussed about the sum questions, we discussed about the difference question, we discussed about the ratio, and now we discuss about the percentage. And I will ask you one more question. Next one is the average of red boxes. So what is average? So average is sum divided by total number. So we have to first take the numbers into consideration. Those numbers in the red boxes. What is in the red box? First red box is 10. 10 plus 30 plus 40 plus 20. So what is 10 plus 30 plus 40 plus 20? It is 100. Okay. So 100 divided by how many boxes we discussed about it? 4 boxes. So what is average? Total number divided by number of products, or here number of boxes. So how many times? It is 25. So what is the average of red boxes? The average of red boxes is 25. Okay. So we discussed about sum of boxes, okay, ratio of boxes, and percentage and average of boxes. And the last question, that is the difference between the boxes. So here the question is little twisted. So they ask you, what is the difference between sum of blue boxes and total of yellow circles? Okay, so first we have to find the sum of blue boxes. So what is sum of blue boxes? 60 plus 30 plus 50 plus 20. Okay, so 60 plus 30 plus 50 plus 20 is what it is. 60 plus 30 is 90. 90 plus 50 is 140 plus 20. So you get the sum of blue box as 160. Okay, so what is the sum of yellow circles? Sum of yellow circle is very straight. 20 plus 30 plus 50 plus 70. So it is 170. Okay, so what is the question? You have to find the difference between sum of blue boxes and total of yellow circles. So you have to find the difference between what? 160 and 170, and you know that 160 minus 170 minus 160 is 10. So your answer is simply 10. Okay. So what we did in these questions, we find the sum of numbers, we find the difference of numbers, we just calculated the average, we calculated the ratio and percentage. So from where we calculated all these 5 questions, we take the values from the different colored boxes here, right? So this is what data interpretation all about. You are taking the data from the some figures. Some figures, maybe some boxes, some line graph, whatever it is, you will collect the data first. So collecting of the data from the figure is very important in data interpretation. Okay, after getting those numbers, you write those numbers in a paper. Then the question, you have to find the average, you have to find the difference, you have to find the sum, you have to find the ratio and percentage, and lots more. Okay, so the data interpretation, the important question is sum, difference, ratio, average and percentage. So these are the important questions you have to associate, and you have to be very clear. Use pen and paper to do all the calculations. The calculation is very important for us when you deal with the data interpretation. If you have any doubt related to the difference, average or percentage, you can go through the separate sessions of ratios, average and percentage in this video log. So let's discuss. So let's check out one original question. Okay. So we are now talking about data interpretations, and we are taking bar graph into consideration. Bar graph means the values are represented using bar figures. As you can see here, there are 2 color bar are there. So one bar is for 2000, that is blue in color, and the red bar is for 2001. And what is this bar 2000 and 2000? B1, B2, B3, B4, B5, B6 are represented in these figures, right? So B1, B2, B3 means the branches of some books. Okay, so we are selling some books, and we are selling those books in some branches of a company. So B1 is one branch, B2 is the second branch, B3, like that we have 6 branches. And the left side on the y axis you can see 0, 10, 30, like that. All the values are in thousands. So sales in thousands. So what the 10 represents means 10,000 books are sold in 10. So 20 means 20,000 books. So all the values are in thousands. So now the figure is very clear. So first take some moment of time and analyze what they are given in this data. So we have to get the values of we have to get the numbers out of this figure, or we have to get the data out of the figure is very important. So that's why this question is called as data interpretation. You are taking those data out of the figure correctly. That's very important. So if I ask you one simple question, what is the sum of 2001 sales? Okay, so 2001 we know that it is red color. So the question is very straight. What is the sum of all the branches red color? So red color for B1 is 105. The value is 105, right? So red color for B2 is 65. Red color for B3 is 110. So red color for B4 is 95. Okay, so you have to add all the values in red color, and you have to get the sum of it. So it's very simple and straight question. We have to find the value of 2001 sales. You have to find the sum of all the branches. So the answer is, take your pen, take these numbers, 105 B1 value plus 65 B2 value plus 110 B3 value plus 95 B4's value, then B5 value 95 and B6 value 80. You have to add those numbers and get the right answers. Okay, so calculation is very important. Take your time. And I will move to the next question. After sum, we discussed about the difference of some numbers, right? So here the difference. So what they ask you, what is the difference between sum of B4 and B1 sales? Okay, so they are not even mentioned about the sales of 2000 or 2001. They ask you to combine the sum of B1 and B4. So B4, if you take into consideration, you know that there are blue bar and red bar is there with B4. So you have to add those two numbers. That means what? B4, if you consider B4, you can see 85 and 95, and B1 you can see 105 and 80. Okay, so what you have to do is you have to take the sum of 85 plus 90. So what is 85 plus 85 plus 95? It is 180. Okay, so that is sum of B4. Take your pen and write it down. And what is sum of B1 sales? B1 sales, you can see two bar are there. Blue bar represents 80 and red bar represents 105. Okay, so we have to take the two numbers and add those numbers. So 80 plus 105, so 185. So what is the sum of B4? 180. What is the sum of B1? 185. So what is the question? You have to find the difference between these two numbers. So what is the difference between 185 and 180? So your answer is 5. And remember, the number is 5, but the sales are there in 1000. So the right answer is not 5. The right answer is 5000. Okay. So that is the question number 2. So let's discuss the third question. Ratio of the sum of B6 and B6 to the total of B3. So you have to find the ratio of two numbers, right? So ratios means definitely A by B format. So what is A? Numerator, they are talking about the numerator, that is sum of B6. So what is the sum of B6? We can see B6 is there in the figure. So two bar are there along with B6, blue and red. So what the value of B6 red bar? Red bar is 80. What is the value of B6 blue bar? It is 70. So what is sum of 80 and 70? So 80 and 70, your answer is 150. So you get first value 150, that is numerator. And we have to find the ratio, right? So numerator we already get 150. So it becomes 150 divided by. So now the denominator we need to find. What is the denominator? They just give you a clue. It is the sum of B6 to that of total of B3. So what is the denominator B3? B3 is 95 plus 110. So B3 value 95 plus 110, it is 205. So what is your answer? 150 divided by 205. Okay. So we have to again simplify this 150 divided by 205. We can cancel this 150 by 205 using 5. Okay. So how many times are there? So 150 divided by 205 is there. We got it. So we have to find the ratio. That means we have to simplify it. I'm going to cancel with 5. So in 205 we can see how many 5s are there. It is 41 times. Okay. How many 5s are there in 150? It is 30 times. Okay. So is there any further possibilities there to find the ratio? No, we can't divide with 30 and 41 again. So the answer is what? 30 divided by 41. So 30 is to 41 is your ratio. Okay. So do the calculations very slowly. I'll give you some practice set purpose for solving these ratios and max questions, simplification questions. Okay. So don't worry about it. Anyway, you have to use pen and paper for solving this question. So I have one more question. What is the percentage of sum of B1 in 2000 is the sum of B6 in 2001? So it is a question associated with B1 2000 and B6 2001. So tell me what is the value of B1 in 2000? So that means what? B1 blue color. So B1 blue color is 80. Correct? So what is the sum of B6 2001? So B6 2001 means B6 red color. So B6 red color is also, the number is 80. So one number we get it 80, second number is 80. So what is the question? What is the percentage of sum of B1 and that of the next one? So the 80 divided by 80 into 100. So 80 cancel and your answer is 100%. Okay. So that is the percentage of sum of B1 2000 and the sum of B6 2001. Okay. So let's discuss the last question. Find the average. So what is the average of 2000? So 2000 means what? Blue color. So what is the average of 2000 of all the branches? So we have to add the blue color value of all the figures, right? So what is the first blue color value of B1? It is 80. Second value B2 75. Third value 95. Next 85, 75, 70. So what you have to do? You have to take the sum of those numbers divided by number of it. So we have to calculate 80 plus 75 plus 95 plus 85 plus 75 plus 70 divided by 6. Why 6? Because we have 6 branches. Okay, so this is a very straight question. Rest of the calculations you have to do yourself. Use your pen and paper. So we discussed about data interpretations. It takes little time. We need more practice sessions, and we'll give you more and more questions. Do it yourselves, and any doubt, any confusions, WhatsApp me whatever doubts you have. I'll respond you with a video or an audio voice or voice note. Okay, so do practice. We focus on some of the questions, difference questions, ratio questions, average questions, and percentage questions. See you in the next sessions.